And shalom, friends. Welcome to another episode of Resubbed, the World of Warcraft podcast for casual players. It is Sunday, October 25th. Not to make you guys jealous, but I am just getting over finishing a giant plate of freshly made dim sum. That is from the awesome Chinese restaurant that is not so far away from me, apparently. That is like a local legend that we just discovered. And so my wife was like first in line and got like and it was greeted by like the nicest old Chinese lady just chatting up. He told my son he was a good boy. That's awesome, by the way. Yeah. It's always nice to hear. But yeah, they got the shrimp pargao, the pork shumai, all super fresh, and like the pork buns. So I don't know how good I'm going to be contributing to today's discussion. Just simply because I
feel like I may have been there before. Have they been there for a while? Because we used to go to Sacramento.
It's literally called Dim Sum House. Like that's all it's called. It's like, wow, that's the most forgettable name that you can think of. But like, it's the more forgettable the name, the better the food. And I guess it's awesome. So I guess it's an older couple, or I guess it's the older. I don't know who owns it, but it seems like it's family run.
Right.
I think it's like, she mentioned to my wife that it's like the grandmas and the grandpas, I guess should be grandma or something, come in 5 a.m. They start all the cooking.
That's cute.
And then all the kids come in to do the service, like once things start opening up. It's like, that's
pretty cute.
Awesome. Can you think like how awesome, like if your family was that tight knit enough to hold it down and have an awesome like family business like that. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how much money you make. That's amazing. You know what I mean? That you get to do that on your Sundays with your family. But anyways, what am I talking about? Welcome to the World of Warcraft Dim Sum podcast, where I'm joined by my awesome co-host, Michelle. Michelle, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. We have our first sponsor today.
We do? What? We got a sponsor.
We have a sponsor.
All right. Well, let's hear it.
So today's episode is sponsored by Travis Nichols of Stormwind. Now, if you're a mana user and you find yourself running out of mana while slaying beasts or killing those ghosts and goblins during Halloween, make sure you stock up on black coffee. They are sold in Stormwind by the canals. Just visit my favorite pink-haired gnome, Travis Nichols, and they're 3 silver and 2 copper. And you can get a max stack of 20, but you have to be 27 years old to enjoy the black coffee.
That's
level 27.
Oh, gotcha. There we go. I was like, what?
So you must be level 27 to enjoy this hot coffee, but it restores 4,254 mana over 30 seconds, and you must remain seated while drinking.
Dude, that's an awesome sponsor. Can you imagine?
Isn't that awesome?
If we had legit, for you guys don't know what we're talking about, we'd always say a cafe selling, a coffee selling cafe in Dalaran, or not Dalaran, sorry, Stormwind.
Stormwind.
This is an NPC that sells coffee. You can only find it here, folks. We're the only people that are covering the awesome cafe and NPC of Stormwind. But how awesome would it be if we could get real legit sponsors from like other things from in-game? Like
that would be great.
Like the Shattrath Tourist Bureau, trying to get people to visit the empty places of the world.
Yeah. So that's our sponsor for today, but we also wanted to welcome our guildies that joined from our Resubbed podcast.
Oh yeah, do we have a list of names? Are we going to read them out?
I have a list of names, yeah. I actually have them in order of... No.
Their real names, addresses, and list of fears. We're going to...
Social security numbers.
Yep, we're going to make sure all that's out there. Work schedules.
So I have them in order of when they joined, actually. So we have No Heal, Light Right, Thazon. I think he goes by Thaz. Sinred, Alinthia, and Slick Pimps, who joined today. Slick Pimps.
Welcome.
Alinthia is actually Thaz's wife, and they were our listener email that we read.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's great.
I haven't.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome, and I haven't really met anybody who, like, honestly, like, so this is the real life stuff. It's just, let's see. I played with Michelle an hour on Friday, I believe,
Yeah, you've been
and
busy, huh?
including that and the entirety of the week, I probably have an hour and a half of playtime this week. Is what I'm, and that's just how it came down to. It was just like I just haven't had the time to do stuff like being a dad and working from home. Apparently, it does stuff to you. It occupies a lot of time. So welcome to the. So if I haven't been on, it's not for lack of trying. Plus, maybe we should talk about this later. WoW's kind of game now that I got to be in a mood for too. You know what I mean? And if my mind's on other things in life, it's hard to settle back in to you know what I mean? It's not. I'm not on the right frequency to play, so it's just.
You know what's funny about this?
You know what I'm talking about?
We're on the opposite frequency.
No, that's
you were playing a lot before pre-patch,
yes.
And I remember I wasn't really on as much.
No, yeah.
Now I'm on every single day,
and that's just isn't that just a great metaphor for life?
It's weird, right?
Right. We are also joined today by our good friend Hedge. You've heard in previous episodes. He's on. I don't know what's on now, but he's blacked out. He's coming back. He's there.
He'll be back. I think he got kid aggro.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. That's part of the show. But yeah, Michelle, like, so what else do we have on? So I don't have much to talk about other than the fact that I wish I had more time to play. I've been.
Yeah, we missed you.
Yeah, I really, but I did. Okay, I do want to mention this because I want to get all the hate right from the get go. It's like, Ray, that's too bad. You know, life gets in the way of playing sometimes. That's tough. Before you feel bad, so in that 30 minutes that I did have to play, I realized that it was Halloween. They had turned on all the Halloween stuff. And that means the Headless Horseman's available. So on my new account, I don't have the mount.
God, yes. That's right.
I do not have this mount. I was like, oh, man. I was just thinking to myself, shoot, on my previous account, I had gotten that way back in the day, just like old school. It was like one of those things that I regret not having my old account for. It's just not having that mount because it's super rare. I'm not even joking. First run, I queue in as a tank.
I was on when you got it too.
I queue in as a tank, so my wait time is literally 15 seconds. I'm queuing in as a tank. I get a group. Horseman is like, it's the same fight as always. It's still
the same mechanics.
Blizzard, if you're listening, help.
Change it up a little.
Dude, he's been talking the same shit since 2001, or 2004. We gotta change this up. We killed the Horseman.
All of their event, even anyways.
All of them.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
they need to change it up a little. It's the same all the time.
Killed it.
Go ahead. Continue with your story.
Killed it. Got the pumpkin. Got out. Was doing something. It did something else completely because I don't open stuff right away. And then like I was selling stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I should open this pumpkin to sell off whatever vendor crap comes out of this. I get the Headless Horseman's reins. That's it. I'm done,
I don't even
folks.
think you noticed. You know what's funny is I was on with that when that achievement popped up and I said congratulations, right?
I was like,
but I don't think you saw that I was on because you texted me and
I texted me. I was so excited.
I was like, okay.
I was so excited. That's never, ever happened. Like, and I'm afraid that I just didn't, I cashed in on my luck and I'm not going to get that winning lottery ticket anymore. Because
that's my favorite mount. Like, honestly, with all the mounts that I have, that's the one that I use almost 100% of the time.
So let me tell you right now, guys, if you don't play, my headphones. If you don't maximize your time, in WoW, this is Raymond's rookie recommendations. I'm going to keep talking while I get my headphones plugged back in here. But if you only have about 90 minutes to play, make sure you devote about 5 of that getting an extremely rare mount that only has 0.01% chance of dropping. That's how I say, if you really, just want to maximize your time in WoW and the best casual experience, just the first run of the first time ever, get a rare mount. That's all. It's no big deal.
Congratulations.
Anyways, I'm passing it on to you. Hedge, What are your thoughts? Let's hear your hot takes.
You bastard.
Yes, that's what I am.
Oh, you don't have it?
No, I've been running it with all my vaults every day since it started. And every time I'm like, come on, big money. And then like, oh, 2 tricky treats and that hat that you got for the 2000th time.
Yep.
Yeah. It kind of sucks when you don't. I, along with Raymond, who for some reason deleted his account, I got mine years ago, so I've had it for a really long time. And it's honestly the best. I mean, sometimes I don't play with sound, but when I do and I'm riding it, when you're on the horse, when you can hear, and it's awesome when he's like,
awesome.
Yeah.
I took it for granted.
Granite. Ooh, speaking of, we had a special delivery yesterday. So we now have our official Resubbed podcast t-shirts.
Hey.
I have mine on right now. You guys, I have your shirts actually right here next to me. I can show you right now.
I'm stoked.
This color is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
It looks like...
Dude.
I just realized it looks like Masters of the Universe, kind of.
It does.
Like He-Man, yeah.
So when we got them, my husband looked at them. He was like, oh my God, I should have gotten myself a t-shirt. These shirts are great. Anywho.
We exist in 3D. That's awesome.
We do. Yeah, Robert did a good job. He used Final Cut Pro. I think I mentioned that to you to create the logo. Yeah. So props to Robert. Thank you for that. But yeah, so we have that. And what did we want to talk about today, guys?
What are we?
Why don't we ask Hedge? Hedge, how do you feel about the pre-patch? Because I don't think we talked to you, right? About the pre-patch yet?
I like it. Yeah, I have, 3 warriors, and I really like the changes. It seems more, a lot more flexible. Like as far as the weapons, like you can be a Fury warrior and still use a shield, and you can still use like the shield slam and stuff like that.
Right.
Oh, I did notice that. Yeah. That's right. I feel
like it lets you be a little more like hybrid, kind of like how it used to be. How you could like the skill tree.
You're
right, when you can put in.
That was a significant thing that I saw. Like I just created a warrior to take through Exile's Reach. And I noticed that was like really fun, that you could be any kind of spec, but your main starting weapons are a sword and a shield. And so it's like, didn't really matter what your spec is. That's your going weapon. And it's still fun to play. Like there's still stuff to do, even if you're not necessarily, quote, correctly spec. So if you just wanted to do sword and shield, but be an arms warrior, technically that usually takes advantage of like 2-handed weapons, right? Like you'd have to have for certain abilities, but you could, in theory, play as a sword and shield. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So the moment that I realized that this existed was when I was doing the legendary weapons for the Legion. Before the pre-patch, they would switch your spec automatically. Did you know that? So if I were to go, like, say, with my monk, and I was the Windwalker,
like it shows a spec for you, like once you hit a level or something.
So when you go for the other weapon, it switches your spec automatically. So you become, I was Windwalker, and then when I was going for the Brewmaster, it switched me. It changed my spec.
What about
I didn't even notice
abilities? Did their abilities change along with it?
Yeah, my abilities changed.
Because that's the difference between
specs. Now when you go for the weapon, it says this, a thing pops up and it says, oh, this is for this spec. Do you want to switch over now? And you can say yes or no.
Oh, I see what it gives you an option. So it's not like it'll flip you over, but it'll swap it for you in that moment when you.
Yes.
Okay, I see.
And then I had talents from both. Because I didn't switch talent, like it's kind of confusing.
That's where you discovered that some talents are carrying over.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
spec.
Interesting. I see. For my hunter, I was like, I'm a BM and then I'm a survival. Yeah, that's when I noticed it. Was when I was getting my weapons. That's all I had to say.
You noticed that some abilities.
I went like way around. Yeah, I was like, oh, weird.
Yeah. Paladin. My paladin. So I play my main character is a protection paladin, easiest tank class, by the way. I still maintain, I don't know, I can't really say that for the other tank classes because I haven't really played them, but from my experience,
Well, then your thought. No, I'm just kidding. I
no,
was going to say,
I'm just
well, that
saying from
doesn't
my
matter then because
from
you have
going back
not tried.
says, well, I have certain bona fides. I did play a demon hunter spec before, tank spec there, and then I played a warrior tank spec for a while. So based on those two, but to be fair, that's kind of like my main. That's the extent of my tank knowledge. Of those three, though, oh no, I had a DK tank too. No, I can speak on this. The only tank I've never had was a monk tank and a druid tank. But of the ones that I just named off, I would say that the protection pally tank is the easiest to use. It's serious 4 buttons. And
I agree.
so paladins got back auras. I have a certain aura about me now. And so myself and my party members can now benefit from the fact that I can give them a little bit extra damage mitigation in dungeons or a 20% speed buff, which is awesome because I
missed
realized
that.
Me too, because paladins are slow as shit
Yeah.
compared to a hunter or so other classes. All right, so Raymond, what are you talking about? What is this? What is this gobbledygook? So in the game, you choose a class. Certain classes will have intrinsically, part of their skill set is that they'll have certain things that you can do that will do a burst of speed to get you from one place to another, right? And usually they're situational. I mean, a lot of it is for using for dungeons or something like that to get from one place to another in a quick burst of speed. Of what I've found that of all these classes, I feel like Paladin has the least amount of speed buffing that you could do normally for them. And I feel that, oh my God, compared to my Hunter, where you can just turn on, one, you get the speed buff from the pet, and then you can turn on aspect of the cheetah if you needed to, and you get like other buffs. Dude, my Hunter's super fast. Literally, like getting around Stormwind is super fast on foot. Like it's never an issue. And then getting around the world is fast. But on a Paladin, I was like, oh, it's so slow. Like I feel.
And when you're
plotting.
Tanking, you got to be.
You got to be nimble. You got to be nibbly bibbly. You got to get from limb to limb as quick as you can. So I'm happy. So I have a, what is it? Devotion, not Devotion Aura, but Crusader Aura. Right?
Crusader,
Which is great. So I have more buttons. The long and short of it is I have more buttons. However, my actual tank rotation, completely the same. It did not change at all. Like I use Holy Power now, but even then it's like I don't even really notice it. I'm still hitting the buttons at pretty much the same cooldown frequency as I was previously, and everything just feels right. Although I do want to mention that there has been a change to AoE. I don't know if you guys noticed. So the way it used to work is if you had 10 mobs around you, you did an AoE ability, all 10 of those mobs would get hit. Now it chooses 5 targets.
Yeah, I read about that.
And then the other ones aren't getting hit. And then you have to work through those 5 until, you have to work down those targets, and one target or targets get added to fill in that 5 max. So I will be honest, I haven't really messed around with that or seen too much of that with my limited gameplay. But have you guys encountered it?
I haven't played my Paladin actually because I've been leveling.
Oh, that's right. Have you noticed it because when I tend to level, I usually just try to pull as much as possible. But
yeah, with my Hunter, but I have not that much. I think at most maybe 5, but that's it. All right. So I don't think I noticed any change.
Had you noticed any changes from anything you've been running? Not Paladin, just with
the AoE.
The AoE change at all. So it used to be like, say you had 20 mobs around you, like little, when you're running like Ice Crown, and you have all those little like roaches that get on you on that one part. Before, if you did a consecration or whatever, an AoE damage, it would hit all of them at the same time. Now the change is that they only get hit 5 at a time. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's weird. So,
and then when one dies, another one gets hit by the same AoE if it's okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they don't like people chain pulling a lot of old stuff. You know what I mean? Like
what mages would do, or
yeah. So here's the thing that happens if you're not sure what we're talking about. If you're going through like a dungeon or difficult content, usually when the content just first releases, it's a challenge for everybody, right? So people tend to take their time with dungeons, like slow pull things, or you actually use crowd control effects. Remember those days when you had to like sap a target, or you had to freeze trap one in a pack of 4 or 5 just so you can handle the mobs better. But over time, as you know, because as the game progresses and as your character gets more powerful, like through an expansion, right? Like, so the difference between your character at the end of BFA versus your character at max level at the beginning of BFA, right? Like that's a huge power swing and difference. Like you have on the one on the at the end of BFA has essences they can use. They have corruptions. The one at the very beginning of BFA, even though they might be max level and maxed out gear, they don't have any of that, right? So what I'm trying to say is that earlier content becomes trivial, and so people just start running it like steamrolling it style, right? Which is just we pull everything in the room.
Yeah, I actually just thought about it. I did run dungeons with my demon hunter, and I remember that feeling where I for some reason kept running with paladin tanks, but they were trying to pull really fast.
Yes.
But we weren't killing the mobs as fast as we would,
specifically with the
used to do during pre-patch.
Cluster F going on. You have like healer mobs.
So now I get it. Okay. I was wondering, I'm like, what is going on? Am I not doing enough DPS? Like, what's happening?
I think it just reflects with like an impatient playing style, right? It's just the people that want to burn through stuff and like, I just want to get through this dungeon real fast and see if I get my loot. If I don't, then I'm out, or get my whatever, fulfill my mythic points, or I don't know how it works.
I see.
But maybe to get as a way to slow down the game a bit, they do it that way. You see what I'm saying? Because now if you can't. And basically how this works is that if you can't maintain damage
do you think they did that?
All the mobs all the time, it's going to be a lot harder managing the aggro of those mobs. And so a lot of them will start coming loose. So it might have to force you to play it one piece at a time, like the game designers intended, not just like pull everything. It's one thing to do at a legacy raid, right? When you're just like, you're meant to be going and one-shotting everything in a legacy raid, that's the point. But not necessarily content that's still technically current. You know what I mean? Like it feels weird, and it feels like it sets the wrong expectations for the game. It's like, well, you need to be this completely overpowered, godlike figure at the end of the expansion for this expansion to have felt worth it. Like that doesn't seem right. Like, and for me, I think it's a good decision to a certain degree. I don't know how it plays though, because it might play crappy, and that's really what it comes down to. I understand. I could understand if that was part of the decision making of like why they wanted to kind of limit how many mobs get hit by your abilities, but I don't know how it plays. So
I think there was one dungeon where our healer died often. And
well, pay attention. See if there's like a notice.
I think now that I think about it, like I remember we were running. This was when I was trying to unlock Culturn. And I had to run like almost all the dungeons, I think.
How about that's the other thing I was going to mention. You mentioned last week that the leveling is wonky when you go into dungeon groups, right?
Yeah.
That's also caused some issues because different.
Oh, really?
Yes, because different classes have different things added to their ability set at different levels. So let's say you have for an example.
That makes sense. Gosh,
let's say you have
especially
a level 15 hunter.
I see what you're saying.
And then all of a sudden, like maybe a boss depends on like there'd be constantly interrupts, but then their level 15 hunter is not interrupting anything. That's because he doesn't have his interrupt spell yet.
It's funny that you say hunter, because I ran a Pandar. Oh my God, what's that one where at the end you have to kneel if you get the which dungeon is that?
We just did that. The penitent. Yeah, only the penitent.
No, not that one. In Pandaria, the very last boss. Like if you get this, like if your bar gets close to whatever it is, maybe it's corruption, and then you have to kneel, and then it
goes away.
Do you know what?
Is that pride?
It's temple. I think some temple. Anyways, it's a Pandaria raid, and there were 3 DPS hunters, me included. And so I don't know what the levels were for the other 2, But one of the hunters was complaining because we weren't interrupting enough. And he said, we have 3 hunters and we only have 1 or 2 interrupts. And I know I kept trying. And that's the thing is when you're running with strangers, you don't know, like you get the first interrupt, you get the second. How the hell do you know? No. Like I'll hit it. And how do I know if I was the one that did it, you know? Yeah. And in my head, I'm like, I know I'm trying. But then now that you mention it, like maybe that other hunter didn't have that to interrupt.
Possibly. Right.
Also think about like the tanks too. If the tanks are lower level and they don't have a certain, you know what I mean? And you're higher level and you're like pulling aggro off them.
I can't speak to I can't speak to the other tanks, but like I'm pretty sure not all the tanks get a taunt at the exact same level. So it's like the expectation shouldn't be like, oh well, you know, you're in here. And what we're talking about is that with the new level squish, basically everybody from 10 to 50 or 10 to 49 all get thrown into the same dungeon now. It just scales to each individual player based on their level, which is cool, but it's also causing these weird issues to pop up that people are noticing. I think it's funny.
You need to start playing so you can see how it is.
Yeah, I know we talk about Hearthstone every once in a while, but I always love the first opening weeks of... There's nothing like playing Hearthstone the first weeks after an expansion launches because people find right away the most broken shit combos.
Isn't that the point? Like for pre-patch, right? That's the point.
Steamrolls everything.
Is to see like how.
Oh, hold on. It might be me, but you're talking and it's quiet. Oh, it's just me. Oh, this is weird. This is awkward, folks. I see Michelle. I see her lips moving.
Oh, there you go. Can you hear me?
She is.
Did I say anything?
No, you said nothing.
Oh, I was saying that isn't that the point of pre-patch is that now the collective, like all of us are actually testing these things out and then they can see like, okay, well, this is not working and this is not working. And then once Shadowlands comes out, they'll fix the bugs or they'll do like how they have like the random like, oh, there's an update today.
Oh, dude, they almost had an issue with another. Do you remember when they had that plague, the corrupted blood plague from Zul'Gurub, the one that like is famous for spreading all over all the servers and crashing all the servers? Yeah. They almost had another version of that where in the Lich King fight, when you got the necrotic plague, when you exited the fight, it wasn't immediately turning off. And so it actually started spreading, but they were able to catch it in time before it actually did like major damage.
You know, I actually miss CG.
Me too. That was fun.
Why did they get did I miss something in the storyline? What did I miss? Did they just get rid of it?
They didn't get rid of it. It's still there.
No, it's still there, but it's not a dungeon or a raid. I mean,
I
can't go there to raid.
I know what you're talking about, and I forgot.
It's like they're ruins. You can go there, you fly there, and it's there. But the
raid itself is gone. We should look into that. I love ZG.
We should, because I love ZG. I got the Panther mount. Do you have that?
I never got any mounts there.
Was lucky enough to get the Panther mount. He's pretty cool.
I played a tank. I was a dwarf tank at the time, and I got that dope shield. And what I wanted was that two-hander that dropped off the last boss, the Zinrock the Destroyer.
See, and we can't even go back. We should check it out.
Reminiscing about nerdy ass Zinrock. Oh, Zinrock the Destroyer. Do you remember those days? Dude,
that's the back in the day 40-man raids. Like
when I was young, currently, I had hair, and I had Zinrock the Destroyer. Those are good days. You had hair. The heady days of my youth.
Yeah, I miss that. I'm starting to lose the hair.
Hey, welcome to the club, buddy.
I have a lot of hair. You guys can have mine.
No, it's cool.
What if women went bald?
Huh? Yes, women go bald.
Women do go bald.
They do.
What if it was as common as in men?
Oh,
actually, it is common. It's just that you can't.
Women do a better job at hiding it.
Yes, because I am actually. There's a certain part on my scalp that my hair is no longer growing.
Really?
Yeah, it's a freak story. I don't want to talk about it, but something happened and then it just stopped growing. Oh. So it's balding on that side.
Having kids also messes up
For
women's
women.
hair.
Yeah. Dude,
hair growth.
having
a lot of women
kids-
who have kids like start losing their hair because they have kids.
Because
Yeah,
if you think about it, it's not that it's a bad thing, but they're basically parasites in your body. Because
Yeah.
what's happening is they're taking all of your nutrients. It's true. I'm not trying to say it's obviously I have a kid, right? I have my son.
Children are parasites.
But no,
Headline. That's the headline.
no. All I'm saying is it's the same
Michelle
as
shoots hard.
the baby takes all of the woman's nutrients, like everything. They suck everything out of their body.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why after they have the child, they have all these changes and stuff. And that's why postpartum depression happens. Like all these things happen to a woman after they have a baby.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
So- Not that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's what happens.
that's what
We're
happens.
the
No.
host.
we're talking about health issues. We're not.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no controversy.
I
to
love
this.
my son. I don't think he's a.
So talking about parasites.
Anyways,
my youngest parasite. Let me tell you what he did.
the apple of my eye, who actually
Yeah.
is starting to love World of Warcraft, by the way.
Is he? I saw.
Oh,
I saw
God.
that video you sent.
Dangerous.
Yeah, he's like, can you make me? And I'm like, not really, but I can make a
What do you
little
mean,
tiny
I
one.
made you.
He wants
I
me.
made you.
Yeah, right.
I
I
own
did.
you.
He wants me to make a character that looks like him,
Oh,
and
right.
I'm like, it doesn't work
Hey,
that
so
way.
there's been some controversy about that too. So I guess at BlizzCon last year, they showed off like new customizations for humans, and then there's a particularly Asia face looking one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm just, for those who
For
don't
humans?
Michelle and I happen to be Asian, so I don't know.
So what
not
happened?
Not that it should qualify me, but there was I guess there was a look. There was a look of a customization option where a person that looked very clearly Asian features, right?
Yeah.
And they thought that was going to be available in the latest pre-patch, but it's not. And there's like,
Oh, I see what
happened to
you're
that?
saying.
It's like you guys had it, you modeled it. Why isn't it just available? I'm just
Yeah,
like,
why is it not available?
controversy. They don't want me to look. No, I was just kidding.
Interesting.
I think it's weird when they have when they show off assets of something like that, like
And then they
before,
don't.
and then like what happened?
Yeah.
To it? Like it looked fine. Like why?
Mhm.
So yeah, Blizzard, if you're listening, more Asia face, please.
More Asia faces. Is that what they said? Asia face?
No, that's just
Okay.
me. And it's a joke from Rick and Morty to a certain degree.
It's like calling a Chinese person Asia face.
By the way,
Like, what?
joining our guild, if you want to join it, please do. I was just thinking about this today, and if you don't mind, if I veer in our subject into this, okay. Right before, while I was eating my dim sum, I was also watching on Netflix. Have you guys seen that? There's a David Letterman interview series.
Yeah.
So he filmed some stuff during pandemic. One of them is a new interview with Dave Chappelle, and he's actually in Dave Chappelle's hometown. They're like, it's an outdoor interview, and there's people also. It's really cool. I think it's really well done. And I happen to love Dave Chappelle. He's to me.
Ooh.
Of my generation's there's a lot of very influential people, I think. And now that
Can I tell you a story later about Dave Chappelle?
dude, he came into when we were working at the certain cafe that we were working at. He came in.
See, I have a better one. I have a better story, but
Oh, the hell with you. Anyways,
he gave me tickets to his show. Was the ending of the
you
story.
told me that, and I hate
At
you for the
Adidas
rest
when
of...
I was a manager at Adidas. I helped him pick out a whole outfit. Then
That's
he
cool.
gave me his number. Oh no, I gave him my number. And then he texted me and was like, "Here are tickets for tonight," or whatever. And he
Wow.
wore that outfit that I sold to him. He was telling jokes during that time too.
You know,
so.
he's flirting too, because his wife's
His wife's Filipino. I know.
So you're
I
his
know.
type.
He straight up went up to me too. He asked me to help and said he didn't want to be bothered by
no
other
big
people.
deal. Just,
No big deal.
no big
Anywho,
deal.
continue with your Dave Chappelle story.
With that said, when he wasn't hitting on my friend, evidently, Dave Chappelle to me is a super influential guy in my generation. Now I think about it, we don't have that many, I don't want to say heroes, but people who kind of speak to our experience and to our times as well as he does. So what I'm trying to get at is that they're having a thing, they're having an interview, and they're having it in Dave Chappelle's hometown. And I was really struck by how much he loves where he's from, but then how much the themes of community kept popping up, like just being involved with the community, and then how like a lot of his political stances are just about like, no, if you, it's not so much about fixing, you can't fix the world, you can, but you can fix up your corner and the way that it looks, right? And if everybody just did that, the world would be a better looking place,
for
right?
sure.
So it's kind of like things like that, and then just how everybody's looking for a community. And I was just thinking to myself, that's sort of what I want our guild to be like. Not so much like, and I don't think I got that across well enough last time. So I think,
But you haven't been on though.
I haven't been on.
So you don't like,
and maybe it's put me, and maybe that's what's put me in a certain mood where it's like I get into my own head sometimes, and then like just with everything going on, it's easy to get stressed out. Plus, when you get, let's face it, guys, as you get older, man, emotions suck. Like
for real. No, like these guys, they're very talkative. Like I've had conversations with at least 4 of them.
That's awesome.
And talking about dishwashers even.
So and I think that's
there.
kind of what I'm doing, and just it just kind of put in my head like maybe this is why why we're doing what we're doing, why we have a podcast, why we're just putting our voices out there and inviting people to send us emails and join our guild if you're looking for a place to kind of hang out. But what I'm looking for is like, we're trying to get at is that I do miss that sense of community that I took for granted when I first started playing this game back in the day, because it behave like a true community, like a community that you can jump in. It was just like a movie where you put on like a Ready Player One. You put on, the world's not the world, right? The world is just some place that distracts you from this real world where you put on the headset, boom, and then all of a sudden, then you come alive, right? Then you're somebody of importance. Then you talk to people and you have the relationships that you have with the different people who are playing this game, who are sharing this experience with you. That's what I was looking for, I guess, in the guild experience now, which I think is what is sort of like the holy grail for me as a player who played back in the day to now, fast forward, where that's sort of what I'm chasing after, is that sense of community again. But it has to be different now, because the game itself is different now. The way that the systems are set up don't necessarily, let's face it, the game is more set up to the solo player who has a couple of chunks of time to play versus somebody who can commit to an entire afternoon, evening, early morning, you know what I mean, all at once rating schedule. That's how things are. But then there's still something there. And I think there's still a need from the greater community, like of players like us, who are still looking for that sense of togetherness, but at the same time respecting the fact that our lives are different. And so much of our lives are like my family life is my family life. But when I want to come into this world, I want to have some like-minded people to play with and experience things together. If not necessarily in a, like, we have to raid 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. every Sunday night kind of schedule. Just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. What's your thoughts? That's my rant. Thank you for joining us on Raymond's
So that's
Ranting
inside
Podcast.
of Dalaran if you guys want to join.
Yeah. Yeah, what's your thoughts, Michelle? Hedge?
No, I get it. It really is, especially during these times. It's when I kind of explained this to Robert, it's kind of like just getting away from reality and wanting, to just unplug. And then, like you said, like Ready Player One, plug in to World of Warcraft and just,
have set of people and personalities to interact with that are.
Yeah. And our guild, in the last week since they joined, has been more active in guild chat than ever. Mm-hmm. Which shows, and it's not just, hey, let's run this or it was more just personalities.
We might consider renaming our guild.
I was already thinking about that. I thought about it yesterday. I was going to look to see if Filthy Casuals was
that has to be taken. What about just Resubbed? We should just have a Resubbed guild.
Yeah, I was thinking about it not yesterday, actually when No Heal joined. So Monday. I think it was Monday. I was like, I wanted to rename it. I wanted to rename it Filthy Casuals, but then I can also see if Resubbed is available.
I haven't seen that. I'm pretty sure I've seen Filthy Casuals. I'm pretty sure that's where that
is it?
thing keeps popping into my head for.
Yeah. That was the first thing that popped into my head. I was like, ooh, we should try Filthy Casuals. But I'll check Resubbed to see if that's taken.
Raymond, what was the name of that band name you came up with for when we were at Intertech? It was like Raymond and the Accessioners or something. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Also, I came up with you'll like this. So my kid's name is Remy, Remi. And then
Remy.
I decided if he becomes a DJ, his name should be Remy X.
Oh, yeah.
So it can be, you say it the one way, but it looks like the other.
Yeah. I wanted to, before we end, I wanted to tell a story because Thaz, who was the listener that wrote in, and his wife, they're a mage and druid combo.
Hey.
And Thaz said that he basically thinks he's a tank, and she heals him because he's frost. So frost mages can...
Wait, he's a mage?
He's a mage. She is a resto druid.
Oh, and so basically he acts as a tank because
he acts as a tank, and she's like keeping him alive.
I've seen you keep yourself alive through a lot of different weird situations,
dude. Because I'm a mage.
And I'm like, I don't know what you're doing. It's like
Let me tell you something. This is where my story.
Because I forget I have healing spells.
Oh, that's right. No.
So like, how's keeping yourself alive? That's good. She's real good. I'm
good, but there's a reason why. I did not know this, but a druid healer that we had when we were raiding, we've been raiding for he was in our guild for a while. Not too long ago, he messaged me, and he doesn't play anymore. He said, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know." He said, "First of all, I missed raiding with you, right?" Then he said, "I missed healing you." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that was fun." And I go, "What do you mean? You miss healing me?" No, listen to this. So he's a druid. I'm a tank. I was most of the time, I was like, if not top 3, if not first place in DPS, I was like top 3, right? Then he told me, he said, he was like, "I know that I was supposed to be raiding." I think he was a raid healer. I don't remember what his job was, but he said that he had me as his focus. And so he gave me, he kept me alive. He kept me alive. He made sure that I did not die.
Okay.
He gave me that buff that the druids have that increases your spell damage. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I had a personal healer this whole time, and I did not know this.
Oh.
So he told me this, and I'm like, oh, so I'm not that good? But then I thought about it, and I was like, it kind of made me feel like I was this goddess of damage that now in situations I kind of adapted to that, which is why you say, how do you live through these things and I don't even heal you? You're just like getting attacked by all these mobs and I don't die.
I was like, this is amazing. Like I think you're about to die, and then all of a sudden your health just like pops up. Like what?
You're like, wait, where did that
go? You're a mage.
So thank you. Oh my God. I forgot his name now. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. You just said
because
that whole
of this
lovely
druid,
story.
I know. What is his name? I know his real name. His name is Tom. I'm not going to say his last name, but we're friends still. Like we're friends on Facebook and
not friends enough
Blizzard.
For you to remember his name, apparently.
God, what the hell? Druid. Okay. I forgot his name, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tom. If you're listening, I'm so sorry.
To the druid that helped Michelle when there was 2 sets of footprints in the sand, and then there was one. It was a druid.
I had no idea though. He was like, he said literally like he was always healing. That's why, like, I'm assuming that's why I didn't die. I don't know, but I thought that was interesting. And then when I saw that they were, a druid mage tank or duo, I was like, oh my God, that reminds me of that. Because I also had my own druid healer. Anywho.
Welcome to the Druid Mage Combo Guild. Please come in if you're a Druid Mage Combo. Bonus points if you're married. That'd be cool. But
yeah.
Yes, so welcome there. Hey, you know what? Actually, that brings a good point. Do you think you can solo a lot of content as just a Druid Mage combo?
Possibly. I'm assuming that's what they do. That's what they're doing because she's just healing him. But I think so. Because when you're a frost mage, you have a lot of
self-help things, right? Like
yes. Yeah. And you have you're really good at crowd control too. And so this is where I want to test this out, this whole like mob thing, the AoE. I want to see how that works. Like, does that work with like Frost Nova as well?
That's my
So
sure.
Frost Nova, you know what Frost Nova is, right?
That was a verbal.
It's just a CC.
Shrug
Like
emoji
you're like,
that I just said, sure, I guess so.
Frost Nova is just, you know, the when we keep them in place with our frost.
Okay, yeah, wait, yes.
Yeah.
I've
So
had
is that
mage
the
do
same
that
thing?
to me.
So if I try to and then
Yeah.
you AoE.
Yes.
So if I pull like 10 of them and I try to Frost Nova, only 5 of them would get
Yeah, that's a
CC'd?
good question.
I'm gonna test
Let's
it
science
out.
that.
Yeah,
You
let's
know what?
test
We
it
never
out.
did. We ever follow up on how many purple mounts you have?
Oh gosh, no.
should.
I wanted
Hey,
to talk
callback.
about that. Okay, let's count.
Oh, let's talk
Yeah.
mounts. No. This is a good
That's
time
right.
to talk
We wanna
mounts.
talk
You
about
wanted
mounts.
to talk
Okay.
mounts because
I did.
you have been looking under the skirt of the Shadowlands mount previews.
I have.
That was a gross metaphor. You've been peeking under the curtain. I was thinking of peeking under the curtain.
Skirts. Hey,
I'm sorry.
Where is your
everybody.
head?
That was
No,
nuts. I was thinking curtain and then skirting.
yeah. So so Hedge, did you know that you can look at all of the mounts for Shadowlands? That's what I've been doing. I've been peeking it.
I didn't know that, and I just learned that. And when you said that, I was going through the tab to look at them, but I have so many that I don't have that like it's impossible for me to.
Oh, I
Doesn't
did
matter.
it. I didn't care.
It's all
I did
grayed
it.
out.
Yeah. I went through all of them and I was like, I don't know, you know, I don't know, you know, and I was like, 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 but no, like some of them are really cool. I really like that frog that you mentioned, Raymond.
The frog with the mask.
Yeah, that frog. I have a picture of it.
We got to add it to the video podcast.
Yeah, I'll tell. So the frog
Producer
is the arboreal gulper in Ardenweald. The thing is cool.
I believe it's pronounced Hardenweald.
Ha ha ha.
No, I'm just kidding. But it looks like it's the big toad. I think it's like a Zandalorian toad.
It looks like, yes, it does.
I remember
with a mask
fighting
on.
a mob like that with a voodoo mask on. Or
that's the mob I was telling you about. You can buy a frog in Zandalar, but it's 333,333 gold.
There's 2 of them.
You know what? That was something I was going to rant about.
Isn't that stupid?
Getting exalted with like factions isn't fun, because it used to be fun when you could buy cool stuff like a mount for a decent price, like a couple thousand gold, right? Like maybe 10,000 gold at most. They're like almost 100, and they're not even great mounts. There's the Griffin that you can get when you are exalted with help me out here. Not Drustvar, Storm Song or something like that. It's a Griffin. It's a Griffin, right? It's the updated
and they look
Griffin model.
Normal.
It's
just regular.
75,000 gold. I'm just like, dude, I don't have that much money.
You know what it is Blizzard's gone. Blizzard is now money hungry, I think.
Not for
because
gold.
No, listen. People are buying tokens with
for gold. Oh my god, yes. Not for gold. Oh, but for gold.
Remember when Hedge mentioned that it would cost $800 real just to get the Brontosaurus?
Yes, if you wanted
People are doing that.
Yeah.
So that's why, but when the mounts used to be like 10 gold or 25 gold or 100 gold, whatever. Now it's like, and I'm talking about exalted, like being exalted, because there are other mounts that were more than that. But now it's like, you got to spend 100,000 or 10,000 or something stupid. Like, really? Come on.
Yeah. So for those who might be confused about what we're talking about. So during a game, part of the grindy experience is that you have to increase your reputation with certain factions that are in the game. Like, oh, these guys, this. And what I mean by that, there's like certain story NPCs, right? Let's say the Dragon Lords of Butthole Town. They have the best flying dragon buttholes, and so what you do, but you can't buy them straight out. You have to work spending some time doing quests and things for this faction before you're given a right to, before you're allowed the right to purchase a dragon mount butthole thing, right? Which is fine. It used to work this way fine because you spend your time grinding it, which could take about like a couple weeks, maybe sometimes months. And then by the time you're done, yay, I can finally afford to buy this mount to show off to the world that I spent in the time to get to this point, right? I jumped through all your hoops to get here. Now it's like, okay, you jumped through all those hoops, and now before we give you your diploma, we're going to charge you $20,000 more to give you what, not including the time and money spent getting into it. But Michelle, you just said it, and you're right. It's because you can buy gold. You can buy time now, basically with gold, and you can buy time with money. So yeah, basically it's a way to be a gold sink so that people buy more gold. It's a way. Yeah.
By the way, that number, the 800 real dollars that it would cost, is not buying the WoW token. It's doing it illegally. So like each transaction it would give you like 300,000 gold. So if you did it.
Oh, if you did it through WoW, it would be more.
I don't know. God knows. Probably like well over $1,000.
So you're saying through black market means it's already at $800.
Yeah, Chinese gold farmers. Yeah.
Yeah. And we like to. I'm pretty sure that all three of us like to collect mounts, right? So that's really upsetting.
Bad form. I say bad form.
So I'm wondering how you get because I'm also looking at another one, the Amber Arden Moth. That one is awesome, but
not to detract by how cool these mounts are.
Right, but it doesn't say. It just has the zone, but it doesn't say like how you get them, like the Shadowlands ones.
Well, it makes sense.
I think it does. There's like a couple of them that showed one of those obscure,
like achievements or something.
Currency. No, it's like one of those obscure currencies, like like garrison resources, like that kind of thing.
Oh, okay, because this one does it.
Stygia or
sticky eyes or sightless eyes for the rat lion. Yeah.
Blickety blues and
schmeckles and
Jimmy Jams.
But yeah, you can
what's the Schmeckle
whatever these things are.
Schmeckle anima conversion rate.
But so not only can you look at the Shadowland mounts, you can also look at the professions and look at your professions and go to unlearned talents, and you can see Shadowland talents. If you guys care about your professions.
I care. Can I tell you, thinking about professions makes me sad. Because that was one of the things that when I was getting into Warcraft back in the day, that's what set it apart from other games. It was like, wait a minute, you can have a job. I can not only can I just have a character that, gains levels, gets new abilities, goes through a talent tree, gets awesome gear, but I can have a job. What? What? This is like real life. And I was so exciting to me when I made my first in-person trade for some light leather. I remember to this day, I was like, oh my God, I just made money. I was so excited to have a profession to participate in this trade and get currency. That was so exciting to me at the time. And I feel like professions are just blah. You know what I mean? They're just so stagnant now. There's nothing fun about them when they used to be kind of a cool thing. You know what I mean? I mean, it's gone through iterations for sure, but right now it just feels like a lot of professions are just meant to either the end game is to create a mount. You would go bother leveling through profession just so you can make a mount at the end of it and then call it done, right? Or make a nice little toy or trinket for yourself and then or cosmetic, and it's okay, that's it.
Or a mount for jewel crafting.
I hate how the gathering professions are in BFA. I think Legion might be the same, but when you go to mining and herbalism, there's those 3 stars.
Yeah.
You have to complete,
you have to level up so that you can collect more.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea that they seemed like they wanted to do something more than just this is just you picking up shit.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that idea, but it's just it feels like the reputation grind. It's like a punishment. It's you haven't done this long enough, so you're only
getting one
thing.
Yep.
Yeah. one of my
sad.
complaints.
We should have an in-depth profession episode at some point because that's
Yeah, we talked about that, huh?
we keep mentioning it.
Why don't we do professions and mounts, and let's all count our purple mounts or
Okay, yeah, we'll do a follow-up.
or rare mounts.
Yeah, gotcha. No emails this week.
Oh,
yeah. Sad
no
face
emails.
emoji. Yeah, but if you do want to write emails about anything, we'd love to hear from you. I was gonna have my wife write a fake one just to give us something to talk about. But I was like, no, we have too much integrity for that. We're gonna keep it live. But if you do have any topics of discussion that you'd like us to hear us talk about, or whatever, questions about the game, anything, come write an email. We want to hear from you. resubbedpodcast@gmail.com. That's resubbedpodcast, resubbedpodcast @gmail.com. I always think I'm going to screw up that spelling one day. I probably will. But yeah, Michelle, what else do we have on the docket that we want to talk about? Yeah.
Oh, today?
Yeah.
So we had, I think that was it. Yeah.
I do want to mention something. So this past week, I didn't get a whole lot to play. The week previous, specifically the Sunday, I think after we re-recorded, I played some. I sort of screwed myself up. So you know how much I love Legion? I love Legion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great. I spent some time with my hunter unlocking the Void Elves and the Lightforge. That went well. And then I decided to go and try for my class mount, which involves going to a certain place on Legion called the Broken Shore. And it's like this whole area and it has its own subset of question. It's pretty involved. I am now lost in Legion. And what I'm trying to tell you is that I don't know what I did, but as I'm working through all these quest lines, I'm revealing more quest lines and I don't know what's related to what. And I don't know where in the timeline these all fit. And so I'm going in between. So between Broken Shore, my class hall, and Dalaran, there's about 1 million exclamation marks. And I have no idea where to undo this thread to just continue. Because I thought it was straightforward to get this class mount. It's not at all. Because
no, it's not.
So once you start the Broken Shore the Broken Shore quest is you go to a certain point, and then the storyline picks up at your order hall or something like that. But my order hall isn't fully developed yet because I've just been flitting around. So what I'm trying to tell you is that for those who don't know what I'm talking about is,
don't you use Wowhead?
Yes, I do. But the actual practice of getting yourself and figuring out which threads to follow just suddenly got buried underneath a mountain of I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. So that's been a reason why I've not played either, because I don't even know where to pick up with this hunter anymore. I've given myself too many choices. So what's happened is that, so what happens every expansion is that the expansion just doesn't come out. So when we're talking about Shadowlands coming out, Shadowlands is coming out, but that's basically, you want to look at it as part 1 of Shadowlands is coming out. Throughout the next couple of years, part 2 and part 3 are going to be added on to the Shadowlands in large patches as they develop. And that's going to further the quest line. It usually adds more stuff to the game. It usually builds on the systems that are already in place and, puts more of that, develops that more further. And what ends up happening is that by the very last part, by part 3, things can look dramatically different than when you started off in part 1. So what I'm experiencing is I'm playing through Legion, but I've already gone through the leveling experience, so I'm at max level, and I'm trying to go back and go through the content, the relevant content that's going to unlock these awesome, badass class mounts for you. The problem is that all the content is now available to me all at once.
So you see all these
discernible
quests.
Pattern, and certain things have to happen in certain sequences, and I'm completely lost. And it's I don't know if anybody's experienced that. It sucks, dude.
Also, not only the class mounts, I mean, that in itself is a huge feat, because from what I read, I wasn't there when Legion came out, and I wish I had, because I feel like I wouldn't be having this problem. But,
because we would have been doing it in real time, and there would have been all this extra shit around it.
I feel exactly the same. There's so much. It's not a bad thing. I mean, it's a good thing to complain about if I really think about it, because there's so much content. But it's holy shit, it's just overwhelming.
It's
to get your class mount, you have to do this achievement called Breaching the Tomb. But in order to do that, you basically have to complete all of the Legion content. So you have to do the full, like, however long that expansion was out, like, 2 years about?
Yes.
You have to do 2 years worth of content for each class if you want to get every...
For each class?
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, it's cool, but, like, holy shit. And then not just that, all the artifact weapon appearances. Those are hard, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got all of them so far.
Really?
For my... I want to say 3 or 4 of my characters have all their weapons. I was going to do them all for the other ones.
That's impressive.
I've been playing a lot lately.
Doesn't each weapon have like 4 different appearances?
Huh?
Doesn't each weapon have 4 different appearances?
Oh, you're talking about the colors.
Yes.
Right?
Colors and like the...
No. Okay. So my hunter just unlocked 4 colors. Yes. I just did it yesterday, actually. So my hunter's the only one.
On one weapon?
On one weapon.
And then each weapon
has different colors. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's fun.
I just changed my Titan, the BM weapon to red.
Mine is still... Oh, I haven't collected any. Mine's still whatever it is.
Because my hunter's still doing all the class hall stuff.
I got the hunter quest, though. I did do that. I got the Hati. We were saying it wrong.
Hati. Did you see it's inactive? So is it a she or a he?
I want to say it's a she. Sounds like a girl.
Sounds like a girl.
Hati. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm calling her
she no longer, even when you're in Legion, it's inactive.
Oh, no. But when you're in BFA and you're max level as a BM hunter, you get a special
quest. Oh, in BFA?
Quest. Yes, this is what I was trying to tell you. It's a special quest that you go on. And it's hard as shit. I died so many times doing this quest.
Did you do it?
I did it, finally. I kind of cheesed it at the very end.
So now Hati comes out every once in a while?
Now I have Hati as one of my spirit animals. It's my companion. Hati is my companion. It's a
so you can only do this when you're max level?
Yes, and I think she's awesome. And then you can have 2 Hatis, basically. So you know how you have one in the stable?
Yeah, you keep one and then you make her,
Yeah, so you could have 2 So basically my spirit beasts are animals. So now I'm on this whole trip too. I'm thinking of just giving up on my entire Legion.
The mounts are pretty cool, though.
I'm just an old man now, and I cannot deal with this shit. Like asking me to set up cable modem. It's not gonna happen, dude. Like from scratch.
Yeah, right. Once I hit max level, where do I go for that? Is it just does it pop up?
Yeah, it's in Borealis, and it's what Mirmoron gives the quest. Mirmoron, the little, he appears in Borealis if you're a BM hunter, a Beastmaster hunter.
Oh, he'll just show up. Okay.
He'll just
like in the Dalaran when they come in for your class hall.
Yes. So I know this is probably but you can get I know this is very specific to hunters, but I do really like my hunter. It's fun. But Hedge, did you hear all that? How I got the Hati, the spirit beast, as a hunter pet through a special BFA quest line?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
How long did it take?
It took me like an hour and a half because I kept dying, and I was like, "Do I just suck?"
So you can't solo it?
Like, no, I think you can. It's just I think I suck. Like, I think my gear was awful at the time.
I'll let you know when I do it.
I just had such a hard time. I was like, "How am I supposed to avoid this?" Like, because it's very clearly meant as a class challenge kind of quest. You know what I mean? Like when they used to have an old school, for BM, and you're supposed to be able to use your. I was like, am I forgetting something that I don't have?
What am I not using right now?
Because I'm like getting annihilated here over and over again, and this is
and your pets too.
Yes, my pets are getting just blasted. So I was like, Anywho, I have it now. I'm over it.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna go hunt down. Oh, by the way, so the hunt for spirit beasts, that's a real thing. Every single spawn location for any type of spirit is there's hunters just posted everywhere.
Where do you go?
One of them is in, well, they're all over in all the different expansions.
I suppose I can also Google it, but
yeah, there's about like 30 of them, and so one of the more popular ones are in Ice Crown. So there's a bear spirit one that's in Grizzly Hills, and he just paths around, and then that whole path is just full of hunters, and then
you can only do this after the quest.
No, you can do this. You can do any spirit beast at any time. They're just rare spawns that spawn in the world. But the specific Hati thing, that's a quest line. That's like a...
I'm kind of confused because I don't know if you noticed, I tried to go and tame Undasta.
Uh-huh.
Because I saw someone who had it.
Yeah.
I couldn't. It said that
you know what? You have to... Okay, so this
But I read a while ago that you can, as long as you're BM, you should be able to do it. But now I guess you can't.
I think I might be wrong on this, and if I'm wrong, you should write in, right? Prove me wrong. No, but so you know how like in this current pre-patch they gave Beastmaster Hunters the ability to tame cloud serpents.
Mm-hmm.
So the long dragons from from Pandaria. You can't do that right away. You have to get rep with a certain faction, and they sell you a book that gives you the ability to
see, that makes
tame
sense.
cloud serpents. So you can go and do it afterwards. You have to.
You know the birds that kind of look like it's like a feather. It's like a bigger. Oh my god, I can't even think. It's like a bird that you can actually ride, like a mount.
Chicken hawk, a dragon hawk.
Yeah, no, not like a dragon hawk. Oh my god, I have hippogriff. A mount. That like it kind of looks like a hippogriff. So there was a rare that I saw, a beast. And it was called Feather something because when I tried to tame her, it said you did not learn how to tame Feather or something.
Yes.
So okay, I get it. So now we have to get these books to tame certain.
Yeah. So this one is like the order. You have to be exalted with the order of the Cloud Serpent in Pandaria before they sell you that book. So, but I don't think, and honestly, with the older expansion factions, it's not that hard to get exalted with them. It's not nearly as hard. Right. So there's ways to get around it. So yeah, that'd be the only thing that I think would be keeping you from, and I think there's one for Undasta as well before you can tame Undasta. Undasta is a giant, awesome Tyrannosaurus Rex with a cool troll headgear, by the way.
I read that if you kill the dinosaurs around there, but they're all elite, but if you farm them, a book drops. That's what I read.
That's probably the thing that lets you tame
But
Undasta.
I couldn't kill them by myself. So I kept dying because they're all elites.
Level 50 elites?
Not rares. Oh. I don't remember. I think they were my level, but I kept dying, so I said I gave up. But no one was there to tame her. So I think it's easy if you guys want to do it someday and like go around, try to farm the book and then tame her.
I think Undasa drops them out too.
It does, yeah. Yeah. Ooh, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up our episode. Yeah. Cool. That was fun.
That was fun.
Let's see. So what's going on with us? So I am going to be starting a new podcast with my wife and my friend Eric. We're going to be talking about wrestling, and so we're recording tomorrow. It's going to be called Inside Cradle, a casual wrestling fans guide or something similar to kind of what we name Resubbed to a certain degree. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of this, but it's all going to be wrestling based and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you are at all interested in wrestling or are even casual fans of it, we're just going to be sitting around shooting a breeze about it because we have a lot of thoughts and we love wrestling, especially now during this time. But also, I keep saying this, but I do have a stream that I have to dust off. I need to make time because I said I wanted to level my Shadow Priest all on streaming, and I want that as a personal challenge to myself to just try and do. So I'm going to be trying to do that. My name they're going to follow is Ramen Pile Driver, Ramen_Pile Driver. And Michelle, we have our other podcast that we're so close to releasing. We finally have a title.
We have a title. It is Serious Part-Time Gamers.
Yep.
And we did start it.
It's all about video games. Just all video games, not WoW related. So obviously.
Just all about anything about games.
Pretty
anything
much.
And everything.
Video game news, what we're playing right now. Yeah.
So that'll be out soon. I think we're just working on a logo, but we'll have that out soon. And then I have my YouTube channel, which is Michelle True.
Wait. If he says, oh no, you're gone again. She has a YouTube channel. It's called Michelle True. It's part of this multi-level marketing. She doesn't want to use the word scheme.
There we go.
Oh, that's you. Hey, there you are. Oh no.
Hi, I'm back.
I was just filling in for you.
What did I say? What was I saying?
You're talking about your channel.
Oh, right. About my channel. It's mainly about Disney. So if you're a Disney fan, It'll be basically about anything and everything Disney.
Yeah.
And that's my channel, and that's
Awesome.
our podcast.
So yeah, thanks everybody for listening. Hedge, thanks for jumping in and joining us. We will have another episode for you next Sunday. But until then, bye everybody.
Bye.
Wow.